everybody. Welcome to Buckeye BS here every Sunday as usual at 10 a.m. on the Best Damn Media Network. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Chilling, man. You know, enjoying this nice long weekend that I got.
Yeah. So while we here, I do want to wish a happy Father's Day to Mike. You see them kids stressing him out with the gray in his beard, but you know he must be doing a good job. Then all good jobs come with stress. But
happy Father's Day to the Best Damn Media too, and Locker Boys. Lots of kids out there. So
yeah,
happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and also happy Juneteenth for tomorrow. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I did see the blackening, and they have this card game. I didn't know it existed, but they have the card game on how black you are. So I'm gonna have to pick that up. That'd be fun to play on Juneteenth. Like, nah, bro, you can't celebrate. You get these questions wrong.
Hey, Chad, is Q going to be invited to the cookout? Let us know.
I was on mute to start the pod, you know, because this is our first episode and everything. But I just wanted to wish a happy Father's Day to Des and Terry in the chat. I seen you guys in there, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And happy Juneteenth. Everybody enjoy their day off. And if you're not off tomorrow, you might want to start looking for a new company.
Hey, for real, man. For real, man.
Oh man, but yeah, y'all. So today we're gonna jump into some stuff. We're gonna talk some tradition talk. We got our two Ohio recruits in here that play ball there, so we want to jump into some tradition talk and obviously get their experience on growing up and playing football in Ohio. And we're gonna talk about the Glenville Pipeline. We're gonna touch on a couple other things, but one thing I did want to start with, actually. Scratch that. One thing I really want to start with is this comment I got on the other day. See, I almost forgot. So as y'all were there, me and Chris did the state of the program. We did it. We graded the program. If you haven't seen it, go watch that. Ron said it was a banger, so I'll take his word for it. But great video. But this is the comment I got, and this joint is a little long, so I'm gonna try to sum this up. Basically, this dude said this was a simplistic critique on a lot of things. But we live in a microwave generation where results are expected immediately. To disrespect Walden and Eliano's resume is nuts. You got a guy that coached Tennessee 3-star corners and a dude that coached NFL Pro Bowlers and has their stamp of approval, basically. So basically, he criticized me and Chris for saying Eliano and Tim Walden weren't the best in the country. Now, that was the point of the entire show, was grading them to the best coaches in the country at their position. And we gave them credit. Like, y'all all watched the show. Did we not give a balance of, yeah, they've done well here, but they haven't done well here and they got stuff to prove? Am I wrong on that?
No. The critique was kind of out of left field, but that's usually how most of the comments are on our page. But, like, the thing with these comments is it's always something about prefaced with our age and how young we are. And as a bunch of 30-year-olds doing a podcast, I blush every time I see it. I fucking love it. So if you're going to criticize us but tell me how young I look or call me a Gen Zer, I will gladly take your criticism to feel young every time I do the show. So shout out to all you people out there that tell us that we look like Gen Zers and we are microwave kids on this show because we love it.
I'm 21 with all these grades. You know what I'm saying?
hey, Ron does do TikTok dances though. So if you see one on his TikTok, go ahead and cut those up and put them on Twitter. But we open it,
man. Man, that comment is crazy, man. But I will say this: this is the thing. Our fan base has been conditioned from a lot of the beat writers of just all of these positive things, right? And then now you have guys who are putting some critiques and criticizing in areas, and they're not used to this. But guess what? Suck it up, because we here. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be 100% honest, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, I agree. I have no feedback if it's fair. If it's like, okay, you went too far on that, it's like, all right, let me look back and see what I said. But to say they've done the things that we said they've done on the show, I was just like, okay.
I mean, we don't really have any proof in the pudding really with either one of them at Ohio State, number one. And number two, Perry Eliano was coaching a different position at Cincinnati. So As far as his track record at safety, I mean, that's pretty much spot on. I mean, we didn't have great safety play last year. Granted, I don't think that we had good actual players playing safety last year. So I think what you said was spot on. They just want to argue.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah, like they just want to argue, and they want to be homers and stuff like that. And so we're gonna get shit like that. And I appreciate the comment, even though it didn't have much merit. But thanks for tuning in.
That's fact. Yeah, we appreciate all comments. This is y'all channel as much as it ours, so we can all voice our opinion and talk about it. And if you do put a comment in, we'll talk about it on the show. So there's proof right there. We won't pull just the negative ones, but okay. So let's get this thing going. I do want to start with the Elite 11 that did happen this past week. A lot of traction on that, and I'm going to put the graphic up for the final rankings.
Aaron Nolan was robbed, man. Highway robbery.
Disrespected at number 3.
Disrespectful.
Good. Keep the graphic up there for a second. You gotta throw it back up.
I don't need to see our ugly mugs.
But so I want to get y'all opinion on the Elite 11. I know y'all watched it, and I didn't get to see the live, so I want to get y'all opinion. What did y'all think on the league? We're talking about all the quarterbacks, not State to be touched on Ohio State. Start with Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to start with me?
Yeah.
I mean, honest
critique guy.
I mean, Elite 11 without shoulder pads. Obviously, you're not able to see everything that you want to see. But, I want to say Julian Sang, he stood out. Dylan Raiola definitely stood out as well. He performed a lot better than what I thought he was going to be, especially with some of his film that I haven't been able to find. So, to be able to see him out there doing what he was doing, what was good. Watching him make certain throws reminded me of how CJ Stroud, not saying that he is CJ Stroud, but it showed me those kind of flashes and what we can expect. And I think that he's right there where, he doesn't know too much, and Ryan Day can actually develop this type of guy. So.
Ron, since you're going to jump in first, you go ahead.
Oh, no, because you had mentioned that we watched the Elite 11, and I just wanted to plug the fact that we watched it all together on our Discord. It's just like Spaces. We could have unlimited speakers in there. We were able to stream the Elite 11 and watch that together, so I just wanted to plug that. The link to that's in the description for today's video, so if you want to come hang out in Spaces and watch some content like that with us together and be able to talk and engage, and we have a chat, pull up in the Discord. But we had a great time watching it, and I'm going to use my time on the pod today to apologize to 2 people. Well, 1 person. Dylan Ravioli. We have our jokes. We've made fun of him. Man, he looked great out there. He was throwing a ton of touchdowns during the 7-on-7 section. He looked good during his pro day session. And I'm not going to lie, I was trolling people all week asking which Georgia quarterback was going to score higher during the pro day and look better at Elite 11, because I thought it was going to be Pug. But Raiola looked great out there. He lived up to the billing. Aaron Nolan did fine. Julian Sang is Himothy. We've been saying that. So, for a class that kind of gets criticized for quarterback play, I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this class. You had DJ Lagway struggle a little bit, but I'm still a believer in that kid. I think he's going to have a fine career at Florida. So, I think a lot of kids lived up to their billing, and the Elite 11 was a cool watch. What about you, Cam?
Yeah. Mike, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as say CJ Stroud, but I like what I saw from Air. One thing that I was reading that was kind of a factor was when the kids were doing the 7-on-7, considering they were all using the same wide receivers. So some of the beat was saying that some of the quarterbacks had guys gassed and they were dropping balls, and some guys had guys healthy. Some guys with energy. So, also, I wish that our beat was on the scene more so we could see more film of Air, because we saw every time freaking Dylan Raiola strapped his shoes up from Georgia beat, So it's I saw every single rep of Raiola. I didn't see any reps from fucking Aaron Nolan. So great job showcasing our quarterback, Ohio State beat. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what I saw from Raiola, he had a great deep ball. I mean, I saw 4 touchdowns all on 9 routes wide open, but I didn't really get to see any window throws or anything like that. But I mean, Elite 11 it did what it was supposed to do, showcase guys' arm talent and things like that. One person I want to shout out though, Grunkmeyer, Penn State recruit, Columbus boy, showed out. There's lots of rumbles that he had the strongest arm at the competition. So, great opportunity for some guys to get bumped up on the rankings and things like that. Hopefully, Eric can end a 5-star going into the season.
Yeah, and Chris, I'm gonna need you to chill in the chat, calm down there. But yeah, man, obviously, yeah, be laughing in the middle.
Hello, we ain't got no more cheeseburgers.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I heard Gronkmeyer balled out. It's good to see that from Ohio quarterback. So that's dope. And from all accounts, man, I'm just glad everybody, the who's who of this class showed up and competed. Unlike last year, we had somebody who just, couldn't be found at the camp, but I ain't gonna mention no names. So it was good to see that. But
he'll be at the Manning Passing Academy again this year, so don't you worry.
Not gonna mention no
get that
names.
stamp of approval, man.
Yeah, but in the chat, let me know if you thought somebody was MVP or you thought somebody balled out. Let us know, and we'll keep it rolling. So obviously, want to jump into some tradition talk, which I think it's become a little bit of a fan favorite. I like seeing the videos with the old players and obviously our young and upcoming stars. So we're going to hop in tradition talk, but I want to open this up to Mike and Cam because you two obviously played football in Ohio, grew up with it. Me and Ron were out of state, so we were cheering from afar, but you really understand what it's like to grow up in Ohio and want to play for Ohio State and get that dream offer and things like that. So we're going to clip to a video of you want to start with Jack Sawyer?
Yeah, let's jump to Jack Sawyer, and then Jack talks a little bit about his experience growing up in Ohio and what it means to play for Ohio State. So we're going to listen to Jack and then talk to Ohio guys who also played in the state and what it means, watching the Buckeyes your life as a football player.
Columbus, man. I mean, how strong the fan base is here, and when you grow up in Columbus, everybody's a Buckeye fan. Mm-hmm. My family means everything to me. Mm-hmm. And so being close to them and being close to, my friends and my family meant a lot to me. And then also, with Coach Johnson being here and then when Coach Day got the job and just coming in when I was on my visits, it made the decision really easy with those guys being here. Mm-hmm. And some of the guys who've played here who are from Pickerington, the Devon Hamiltons, Pat Elflines, mm-hmm. All those guys. So, I mean, to me, it was a simple decision. When I was like a freshman in high school, I wanted to come in here right after I got the offer. But I'd say that the two biggest things was Coach Johnson being here and being close to my family, my friends. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to leave them.
So for you guys growing up into Ohio, tell us a little bit of what it means growing up in Ohio, playing football here and watching the Buckeyes as a kid.
Go ahead, Cam.
Like he said, I mean, I just feel like growing up in Columbus, in that era, especially like the Tressel ball era when I was like, I think Tressel got hired when I was in like 4th grade, 5th grade. Going into that era really was something crazy, man. Like it's like a no-brainer going to Ohio State. The craziest part about growing up in Columbus and being an Ohio State fan is that like you don't realize like the excellence and the standard that Ohio State is not like normal. So it's like you're just watching, you grow up, and you like now that I'm an adult, I'm like, wow, like teams don't win that much. Like teams don't like we were freaking out about losing this game and that game. It's like everyone else's team fucking sucks. So that was cool. And then yeah, like you always want that offer to go there because I mean it's just like it's like a certain prestige, like a badge on your chest, like when you can say that you played football at Ohio State in the entire state of Ohio. So that's
So you being a PSAC legend, you were a big recruit coming out of high school before you ended up at Cal. You were recruited by Ohio State a little bit early on in your career. What was that visit like and getting to meet Tressel and just going through that experience, having watched the Buckeyes your entire life and wanting to play there and being a fan of that team?
Me and Jim Tressel was cool. Very family oriented. Like one of the few coaches where I just felt like he's always like talking to you, the person. And then just getting in, and then being in a Woody, and because like I went to all the Ohio State camps my entire life, so it's like from like first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, my entire technique, my entire mentality, my entire way that I've known to play the game was heavily influenced by me going to Ohio State football camps and being coached by their coaches from a child all the way through high school. So and then to finally get to that point where I'm going to Nike Spark camps and I'm getting recruited and I'm meeting the coaches and I'm going on visits. It was cool. So I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
So Mike, I mean, I feel like your story even just elaborates on that because I mean, Cleveland isn't right there in Columbus like where Cam grew up, but I'm pretty sure you have a similar story because, the reach of Buckeye Nation extends all the way. It's nationwide, not even just through the state. So being up in Cleveland, a few hours away from Columbus, what type of impact did the program still have on you guys up there in Shaker Heights?
Correction. Michael never lived in Shaker Heights.
Man,
let's get that corrected or whatever. But
no, let them know where you're really from, where you started playing ball.
I grew up on the east side of Cleveland. If anybody know, like right off of the interstate on Eddy Road. If anybody know, I'm like I was right around the corner from Glenville. My dad went to Glenville, so I remember as a kid just going to the Glenville games, just always hearing about Glenville football. Like I could never escape Glenville. Thought I was going to go there as a kid. My mom would not let me because she thought I would be in too many fights and stuff like that. But where it came for, the Glenville and Ohio State was, I would say, just picked up with Troy and Ted Ginn and just sitting there hearing my uncles always talking about it, and then being able to go to one of the banquets that Ted Ginn Sr. was at and spoke at, and then I watched Ted Ginn Jr. Get his awards, and he was being presented with the Army All-American, and that's when it kind of like put things into perspective for me on how big Ohio State was and what it took to get there. And I mean, it's just, to me, it's just crazy, just watching how people from Cleveland, Ohio, being actually playing in the Senate League. Glenville, if you played in the Senate League, you already knew Glenville was going to the playoffs. They did not play in Senate League championship games. My school was one of the teams that played in the Senate League championship game because we didn't make the playoffs. So, it was like forfeited over to us, that we got that spot because Glenville would make the playoffs. I remember playing at Rose. I had some teammates that we had to coach up because they were scared because it was Glenville. Like Glenville had that type of chokehold over the city of Cleveland, especially in Cleveland public schools. But I mean, those were the games that I loved to play in. I got to play against some Ray Smalls. Those were the games that I wanted to show up and show out at because I knew it was scouts there. I knew everybody was there, and their stadium was always packed. If you played at a Glenville game, to the point where if your visitors can't fill up the visitor seats, they'll fill it up for you.
Yeah, man, and I do want to ask a question following that up. Well, first of all, we got 23 people in here. If you're in here, like the video, obviously let us know. And if you play football,
like the video,
yeah, put your experience up with some things growing up in Ohio and playing. We'll put that up here. But I do want to ask because it seems like a little bit of a shift lately and quite pulling Ohio guys to Ohio State doesn't quite seem as easy as maybe it once was. If you grow up here, you're going to play here. It seems like we got to recruit them a lot harder. Do you think your experience growing up and what Ohio State was accomplishing then and kind of what's going on now with the rivalry being back a little bit has changed the wave a little bit? Or do you think it still has that same pull as it had before when you were growing up playing about, we got to go to Ohio State?
Do you think that it's harder to recruit Ohio right now? Who's beat us for recruits in Ohio?
I'm not saying necessarily, but it seems like back in the.
And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Now it's a little bit of like
all that Michigan bullshit. All that Michigan bullshit is because of one motherfucker, and that's fucking Clinkscale. Once that motherfucker, that he is the reason why he has that foothold, that stronghold in Ohio, because he's linked to Ted Ginn Sr. and he's been growing. He's from Ohio and he has mad relationships with all the kids in Ohio. Like, but kids that we want, until they start taking them, I don't know, man. I still think that we're the number one destination for kids in Ohio, and I don't really think Michigan is really a threat and to upend that until we fucking see it, because we've seen teams win a couple Big Ten championships on us, and that didn't stop us from winning Ohio. Until those bums up north win a fucking championship and do something of merit and actually fucking put a class together and be able to recruit nationally, they're not going to be an attractive destination over Ohio State, especially for in-state kids, because we're always going to have the roster and the talent to be able to win it all, while they're going to fizzle out because they don't have fucking athletes in space.
So Cam did a good job of teasing our final topic of, that potential pipeline leak with Bryce West and Aaron Scott potentially leaving the state of Ohio, and he touched on the Clinkscale thing. But before we move on to that, I want to ask Q one thing about his experience as a Buckeye fan, not having played in Ohio, not having lived in Ohio. Can you feel the difference in something that they talk about with the players alone? Players that have played in Ohio understand the rivalry different. When you talk to guys like Cam, Mike, Dez, Easy, guys that have grown up in Ohio, have played there, have been in the tradition from birth, can you feel that difference of just they've lived it that much longer than us? Because me as a fan, my Ohio State fan, I mean, yours probably started a little bit earlier than mine. Mine started during my college search, and that's how I fell in love with the university and became such an Ohio State fan. But can you feel that difference just as a fan when you talk to other people in Ohio that have been next to this rivalry and have lived it in their entire life?
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, I've been an Ohio State fan since a kid. I grew up playing in Northern Virginia. And then by the time I was in high school as a 6-star recruit, I had all the best colleges from around the nation trying to pull me in, and Ohio State was up on my list, but I decided to go in for journalism instead, which is how I ended up here. So
he turned Tressel down to be a part of Best Damn Media, and I'll be forever thankful.
I'll wait for a beat writer to steal that. But yeah, man, no, I feel the difference, because it was sort of like just not being in the state. Like, I grew up loving Ohio State, but there was just so many different fan bases in that area that it was just like, for me, when I talked to like Gabe, like back in the day when I was growing up, it was like you become the best in Virginia, you go to Virginia Tech. I had a lot of guys from my high school go to Virginia Tech, at least probably 4 or 5 that I can remember that either went to Virginia Tech or maybe another SEC school. But that was kind of the pool there. Ohio State just seemed kind of so far away, even though it was a dream for me. It's a difference seeing it from you guys, like that is what is expected. While in Virginia, it wasn't even really expected that you go to Virginia Tech, but it's just like there's no like set, like we all want to grow up and go play for this school. It's kind of all over the place. And just seeing that central of like all of us want to go to this particular school, and that's a tradition we grew up with. That's where our parents, are fans of, or they went, or they've been, or my grandfather went, he's been a fan of it for years. I can see the major difference in that. So it was kind of all over the place where I was at, but that was my experience, and I can see the difference.
So before we move on to the Glenville topic and really touch on the Bryce West recruitment, I want to play one more video from the Tradition Talk where Marv talked about a little bit of his goals as a child and some of the things that he looked forward to growing up. And I thought he had some interesting comments here and want to get your guys' thoughts on it.
Player, one moment that I've yet to get to that I really want to is Big Ten Championship. I'm playing Indy. I think it's going to be a special moment, especially came for me to go back there and obviously watching my dad play so many times in that stadium. And to go there and play in Indy, so that's one of the goals. That's probably the biggest goal I have this year.
Let's make sure that happens.
Yeah, it has to happen.
All right, good.
So were you guys surprised by those comments? Because that is not what I expected as far as the top of his goal list next year. But when you think about it, when you commit to Ohio State, these guys expect to go play in Indy and be competing for the Big Ten championship. And I mean, if you haven't heard or been on Twitter and have lived under a rock, Michigan has won the last 2 Big Ten championships, and they will not let you forget it. So Marv has never had that opportunity, and I just want to know your guys' thoughts on his comments there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear him say that, man. Who doesn't? And to be honest, I mean, that is a recruiting pitch for Ohio State. You get to go play in Indy where you're going to be doing the combine either. You get to be familiar with the track and, all of that. I mean, I don't blame him. And, I liked what Hardline followed it up with by saying, man, let's make sure that happens, So I hope it happens for Marv, man. It'll be a blessing. I can see all the storylines being written. I can see the mini 30 for 30s coming out now, man.
Yeah, I'll follow Mike. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising it's on his goal list, but it's something that really shouldn't be there because, I mean, the standard is to go play in the Big Ten, which is a little odd that he never played there and obviously didn't really think about the meaning of his dad having a long career there. But, yeah, I mean, I could see that. It's a little disappointing. I would say that made me a little sad. I'm like, man, this dude been here, he's going into his 3rd year. He ain't played there yet, and there's no necessarily guarantee that he's going to get to play there this year. So hopefully we can pull things together. And I do not want guys playing in Indianapolis in their first season in the NFL. And it's like, oh, man, it's the first time I got to play here because that's just a little bad program. But that's more so my thoughts on it.
Cam?
I don't know. That was kind of funny to watch. I mean, when's the last time you heard an Ohio State player emphasize how, like, they're trying to get to Indy without have been to Indy yet? It's just like, it's like, oh, that's our goal. Like, we're trying to get to Indy. We've been so used to just like, that's what we do. We go to the Big Ten championship. So to see Marv and a player of his stature who's going to be a top 3, top 5 pick, be like, I want to go to Indy. It's like kind of crazy.
So what type of perspective did that give you guys? Did you guys have a pause and reflect and think maybe we're spoiled because we take going to Indy every year for granted, or did it piss you off? Like, we need to be in Indy every year. So what was your guys' take on that? Did you think, was it a little bit of perspective of, wow, a step back of look what we've done in the last 20 years and what we've taken for granted and just assumed was a given, just making it to that game? Or was it like, no, we are Ohio State and we fucking should be there every year? That is the standard.
I think we should be there. That is the standard.
Yeah, like, my thing is, like, the reason why we're not there is because of losses to our rival, Michigan. And I don't think that they are an equal program to us. Like, I don't think they're I don't think they do anything better than us in that program. Like, Ryan Day's turning our stuff around. And it's like, when I see us lose to Michigan, I don't have that feeling that I have with like Alabama and like Clemson, and like where it's just like, damn, like we were outplayed. Like, that team's better than us. I just don't like. I feel like that's what's making it so fucking frustrating about not getting to Indy. Like, if we were losing to a team where I'm like, damn, they got crazy athletes. They're fucking going to go win a natty. They're going to go do like shit that we would do in a playoff. That's fine. But like, we're losing to a team that we should be fucking beating their ass, and it's like frustrating because it's like you look at it like, I don't know. I don't want to talk shit, like, bro, it makes me so mad, like, bro, like, it's like we ain't been in Indy because of whack ass fucking Michigan. Bro.
Yeah, some might call this,
God, bro.
You better shape that defense up, yo.
No, holy shit, bro. They are
some may call this a microwave reaction, but. Somebody calls it microwave reaction.
Every time I talk about
that, might have to be
why we say,
bro, because everything we say back to them, bro.
We say in the program, man.
We might have to make that a new segment on the show, microwave reactions, where we give hot takes with zero perspective.
I mean, think about it, like, dudes never played in Indiana, and like, when we talk about the rivalry, like, I love when the rivalry is good and you go into that game with tension and you go into it with nerves, because that's what college football is about. But to think like, man, dudes might actually leave. Like I could see missing one time and say, oh, I played Indianapolis twice, or you know what I'm saying, like in my 4-year career, whatever. Like that's a good rivalry. But to say I might never play in Indianapolis at all is a look in the mirror. And Gene Smith, look at yourself in the mirror. Ryan Day, look at yourself in the mirror. All those guys down the line, like you have a dude whose dad played there. You might never play there. So that's
it's just one game. It's just one game.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's not one game because we didn't get a ticket.
Did you guys see that tweet going around this week on the timeline where it was like, without Googling, name a historic rivalry? They needed to put my picture up there with Gene Smith because the smoke is up and it's gonna stay up with this man. We got beef with Gene, and we're not letting up until this nigga gets us a national championship, man.
Bro, you gotta check in when you come to Columbus, man. They're gonna see them people after you, bro.
Right? They're gonna have to fucking come find me. But before we get into this last topic, I want to thank everybody in here. I see 30 people in here. Let's go smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if this is your first time here. And make sure you go find that Discord link in the description of the video and join our Discord. Come hang out with us in there. We do live content in there. We have a BDMG Hall of Fame where we have a timeline of some of the best moments and best damn media. Jump in there and check that out. So, but yeah, we want to thank you guys all for pulling up today, and make sure you like and subscribe to this. So this last topic, I know you guys all saw the graphic. Is there a leak in the Glenville Pipeline? I know we've touched on Glenville a couple times today, and a name that you keep hearing that's coming up is Bryce West. It's one of the biggest commitments, a big battle between the Buckeyes and Michigan right now. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on where we are in that recruitment and what it would mean if Michigan was really able to, you know, put a leak in that Glenville Pipeline. 22 players from Glenville since 2002. So it would kind of be an unprecedented loss for the Buckeyes, and just want to get your guys' thoughts on what that would mean if someone were able to tap into that.
Yeah, I want to hear Mike as the Glenville philosopher. So yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I mean, the one thing that I never heard in Cleveland, definitely not on the east side of Cleveland, was about anybody bragging about going to Michigan, man. You know, that was almost, if you had to go there, that was like, you know, step down, right? It would be a huge loss for Ohio State. It would be a huge shift for Ohio State. I mean, I'm just thinking about like the past Glenville guys, man. You're talking about Troy Smith, Ted Ginn, guys who made major impacts, Cardell Jones, Marshawn Lattimore. Look at everything that they did. Chris Worley was really good on the field. He was hammered with injuries, though. You know, you had Eric Smith was a hard-hitting safety. I mean, just thinking about that, man, those guys always make an impact. And the demeanor of the team is always different when they're on the field. Every single time, the demeanor. You talking about the fight, the hunger, the will, everything that we said that this team had been missing from the game. I feel like them Cleveland guys bring it every time. So I think it would be a huge blow to Ohio State for that demeanor to end up being on the other side of the rivalry.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of what Mike said. I mean, it would be such a huge loss, and to see him go to the team up north would just be, you know, insult to injury. Like, I just don't see how we can let him get away, but I don't think we will. We've seen tons of talented people, the legacy with Glenville, and I don't think Ted Jr. is going to let someone go there. I know Klink's his guy, but I mean, a talent like Bryce West can't end up, you know, in Michigan. I think this is one that the Buckeyes pull out. We just saw Michigan get packed up twice yesterday. It doesn't look like they're getting Taylor Tatum. They missed out on the linebacker, so we're hoping the loss. They missed out on Boo Carter, so we're hoping this run of Michigan recruiting is over and they, you know, settle back to where they need to be, and Bryce West becomes a Buckeye like he should be. What about you, Cam?
I had this is like the debate. You remember the debate I was having with the Miami fans about like how we don't have the stars, but we have pedigree in Ohio. We have football pedigree. They don't understand that shit. But that's the lifeline of Ohio State is football pedigree kids that come from here, that grow up here, that play a certain style of ball here. And that is the identity of Ohio State football. And it's paramount to get the Bryce West and to get the Aaron Scotts and to get even like the Demarion Wittens, another guy that I know people are trying to say he's trending to Kentucky at tight end. Like getting those type of guys that are from the state of Ohio, what putting that jersey on is important because I just think that gives us a different identity on the field versus, like the rest of the guys. I mean, even though we recruit nationally, that's great, but we need to keep the bloodline on the team, which is in-state guys from Ohio that represents the Block O a different way.
Real quick before anyone else jumps in, I want to give a shout out to Demarion Witten because he was going crazy at that Ohio State camp this week. I don't know if you saw his catch. Boo the photographer because they're like, "Did you see that crazy catch?" I'm like, "Kind of." Because you missed the ball in the shot, but you see this kid go up and he goes out of frame and just comes back in the frame with the ball and made a ridiculous catch. So shout out him. And whether he ends up a Buckeye or not, I think that kid's going to do big things, whether it's, in the scarlet and gray or it's for the Wildcats.
Oh, one more thing about that. Chat, the next couple years, 25, 26, 27, we're going to have some guys coming up in Ohio at a higher clip than we've been used to lately. So,
and not everybody can go to Ohio State.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be some in-state guys that's going to be difference makers to get us over that hump. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this recruitment, Q?
Yeah, like kind of on the train of what I've been saying. I think this is a pivotal recruitment in a way of we don't really have the momentum right now on the field, and you do not want that to bleed into off the field. And like y'all have been saying this whole time, like I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe a Glenville guy will choose Michigan over Ohio State when I see it. But just looking at looking obviously at the play on the field, looking at the secondary play, that is making it more of a competition for him than I think would normally be had. So, I mean, I think this is where Tim Walton, Perry Eliano, and Ryan Day can really earn their money here because, like Cam said, there's guys coming down the pipeline, and all it takes is one. If Bryce West was like, "Oh, I'm going to Michigan," and goes there and he balls out, people are going to look at it and be like, "Well, Bryce went there. He turned into a first-round pick or All-American or, won Big Ten championships." So you got to remember that if you want to hold this pipeline down, it only takes one. So they got their work cut out for them, but I don't think he'll go to Michigan.
Man, if Bryce West goes to Michigan, man, Chris, we got to pull back up on senior, man. check the temperature out there, man. See what's going on over there, man. Because Mike telling us that Michigan ain't even a thought in Eastside Cleveland, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, we don't want to have to go. We don't want to have to go see what went wrong in that recruitment. So
when I was growing up, you don't even say them words, man. I remember my uncles, man, just sitting there anytime like the game came on, bro. And like that's where I got the word Michigan from, bro, because they just kept calling them a bunch of bees, bro.
Yep.
So, Mike, you're the closest to Glenville, and I want to pitch this question to everyone: who is your favorite player in Buckeye history from Glenville?
Man, it's gonna have to be Ted Ginn, man, because I grew up watching like Ted Ginn from like when he was younger, all the way. And I used to go, like I said, to the Glenville games, man, like Ted Ginn, bro. And then just to watch how he left Cleveland like this skinny dude. And I remember being at an indoor track meet, and then he just came in. All the girls was like running like, but he just was like, you could tell he had put on like that football body and everything, man. So yeah, Ted Ginn was.
Ask me.
Cam, who is your favorite player from Glenville?
Dante Hittner. Easy. When's the last time we had a top 10 pick at safety? That's what I want to know.
Is that it? That's your stamp on that,
bro? Just like, bro, Dante Hittner, bro. He was the epitome of like, bro. That was an era when like motherfuckers was just coming to Ohio Stadium getting fucked up, and it was just normal, and it was just like, oh, another safety, Dante Hittner from Glenville coming down the alley, fucking somebody up. Pads is cracking, and it's like we miss those days, bro. Like we don't have the Dante Whitners no more and shit like that. So I miss watching that in Columbus. Like Dante Whitner was a beast, bro.
What about
you? Know I like defense.
What about you, Q?
Yeah, I'm at the still Mike's. I mean, it has to be Ted Ginn. I mean, I just remember this is early on, a little bit after I started watching the Buckeyes and just seeing the more skinny, fast dude that no one could catch. I'm like, man, I'm a skinny, fast dude. Like, I want to be like him. So, man, this dynamic plays every time he touched the ball. It was like kind of like at that time, our next version of Reggie Bush of like, if he touched the ball, like you have to watch. So, no, I mean, I love watching Ted Ginn, but I will give a big shout out to Troy Smith. Obviously, we did the space with Troy and got to ask him questions and have conversations with him, and just his demeanor just gives me a feel of how you grow up and like what your demeanor coming out of that area. So definitely, I was a big Troy Smith fan.
If y'all remember that story that he told in the spaces, that's why my mom would not let me go to Glenville. I'm just telling you, man. She was hell bent on me not going.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a dude, man. It just I was a big fan before, but that made me even a bigger fan. So I will throw it because you have to. But I see some in the chat. They throw it in there, guys. Mike Doss, a lot of big time guys from over there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, since I'm the young guy on the pod, give my microwave Gen Zer take. My guy, Cardell, I mean, he didn't come here to play school, and he still got his degree. He got a natty. He's doing big things with the Schottensteins and the foundation. So I got to give a big ups to my guy, Cardell. 12 gauge, came in as the third string quarterback and won us a natty. It was out there slinging the pill around. So I got to give a shout out to Glenville legend Cardell Jones, and that's
how does he do that, bro? Like that's some legendary shit, bro. He got a degree as a part-time student. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like that's crazy, bro.
That was a real one, and it's funny because that comes up on the timeline all the time. I didn't come here to play school, and they always want to post that tweet. But my favorite picture is Cardell at graduation with that tweet on his cap. So, I mean, for a kid that said that he wasn't coming here to play school, he did indeed play school. And
at some point, he played school.
At some point, he found time to play some school, and he got his degree. And, Cardell's out there using his degree. So, shout out to him and, what I mean, putting on for Glenville. And, what I mean, it just shows that, like, coming to Ohio State, even, he's had the success on the field. He's having the success off the field. So, I mean, I think that's just another example for these kids to see what the success is and how that pipeline has continued. But go ahead,
Q. Bring NCAA back. I need them to put Ted Ginn back in the game because I used to just run goes with Ted Ginn and NCAA.
Nobody was catching them, bro. Hey, nobody.
Go as far as you can. I think my cousins banned me from using Ohio State for that.
Everybody was using Ohio State, from using Troy Smith, Ted Ginn. Then when Braxton Miller was on there, it was a wrap.
Oh man.
Yeah, Braxton was the last Buckeye quarterback that we had on the game.
Yeah,
real quick,
bro.
Before we get out of here, which Buckeye quarterback? I mean, and obviously this is a stupid question. We're all going to say the same thing, but if you have a different answer in the chat, let us know. Which Buckeye quarterback that we haven't had on an NCAA would you be most excited to play with when the game comes back?
Oh, that's
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Cam?
Justin Fields.
Yeah. I don't know. I might be going crazy with my boy Dewey and go rerun history back and get my man.
Or chugging off.
Give me Tate Martell.
You know what I'm saying?
Tate Martell would have been fine. You just wouldn't have wouldn't have won a natty.
Fourth quarter when you up 50, bro. Martell crazy.
We might have to.
You might have dropped out of school for having a girlfriend or something, but yeah, it'd have been fun.
That is what he did. Hey, and he's a hurricane. Shout out to the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
We might have to jump on the Twitch and run through a Heisman
Gmo,
get a Heisman campaign and see if history should have been rewritten.
Hey, Gmo, I need you to pull some strings and get Tathan Martell on a Buckeye BS.
Bro, Gmo is the biggest hater.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Miami legend, get us tapped in, Gmo. Get us tapped in with the greatest Miami quarterback.
Gmo don't know. Gmo, man. If I wanted to play at Glenville, I could have played at Glenville. Got two cousins that played here, and me and Cam will be bringing y'all something on that Glenville and how Glenville actually put guys D1 and stuff like that. We got a special guest coming for y'all, man. We're going to put that out soon.
Oh, God.
Just so y'all know.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that was a banger. So that was a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Ryan, you got anything else? We good?
No, yeah. I mean, if you want to take any questions in the chat, but if there's no questions, you can get us out of here. Anyone have any questions in the chat? We'll give you guys a second. If you have anything you want to ask us before we get out of here, a shameless plug real quick again. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Make sure you go into that description and join the Discord. Pull up on us. We got a bunch of group chats in there, all kinds of college football fans. We got a special Buckeye chat for all you Buckeyes in there. So once you're in the Discord, go ahead and message me, and I'll get you in that invite-only Buckeye chat. And, yeah, make sure you hop into Discord. We're going to be in there doing all kinds of cool different things this season, and that's going to be where our community lives this season. So we hope to see you in there, and make sure you go ahead and like this video and hop in the Discord, Q. Get us out of here.
Well, then we got a couple questions in here.
Let's we do? Those. Dope.
Yeah, so Elf wants to ask, why did Reggie break his heart? He's talking about Reggie Powers. So, He did go to Michigan State. I mean, obviously, we're still in the early stages. We just got a safety commit, so there's a lot of shuffling around, and they still want to get big fish. So I think they were trying to hold him off and maybe see if they had a spot for him later. But unfortunately, I did like him. I wish he came in and played at linebacker, and that was me. I wanted some linebackers that can run, but yeah, that was unfortunate. Do y'all know anything about OVs this weekend? Any news on that?
I believe Kid was concerned about someone not making an appearance on campus, but I believe he got word that he did appear for his visit. I don't know if there's a big hat in the chat that might be able to chime in on that one, but
there was a chance that Miami might flip his decision on coming to Columbus, but that didn't happen. So he ended up making it to Columbus. So that chance of him flipping is not a reality, Gmo. So thank you.
OVs went good. Kasai did
emphasis on chance.
Kasai did want to know, what player are you looking toward? Wait, what player are you all looking toward to the most off the bench? So I guess
I think that was a type forward to the most.
I mean, obviously, the person we want to see coming off that bench is CJ Hicks. We want to see him off the bench more. That's who I want to see. I want to see, when we're in them passing downs, actually competing for interceptions and PBUs, man. Stop letting these guys catch things. And I just feel like he's that type of athlete that can do that. So,
yeah. Mine is the return of Josh Proctor. I'm still on the island, baby. Josh.
Hey,
Proctor.
Me and Q. Flag firmly pointed on Josh Proctor.
Don't let me I'm out. Show wink left.
Yeah, now we're a troll show. Sorry, y'all.
No, I'm dead.
I'm still on the island. Miguel did ask, any chances we land the edge for Maryland and Georgia? Talking about Dylan Stewart, and Georgia's name is missing, but y'all know who we're talking about.
I don't know. I think that one's going to be a tough one to pull. I'd love to see it. I feel Larry's going to put his resume to the test with this one and see what he can pull off here.
I want to see Hero Canoe get some reps.
NIL flowing, so
I want to see Hero Canoe get some reps at that shade position. I think he's special.
Cam love him some Hero, man. I swear,
bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. This motherfucker 6'5",
he's the first
315, and he's got a first step on him. Great, like I'm telling you, bro. Y'all ain't watched that spring game, bro. He was the MVP on defense.
Yeah,
he had 6 tackles, running niggas down. Fucking 380, like big as hell. Look like young Cam Hayward out there.
Saying Costello needs some reps. I agree with that 100%. Just that.
I do love Hero Canuto. That's my dog, bro.
Y'all just let him slide that in and look like a young Cam Hayward. This nigga ain't never played a snap. And this man just let that slide. We've clearly been on this show far too long.
Like a young Cam Hayward out there, the way that he was running that shit down. I ain't seen my shade run shit down since shit.
Anyways, Cam, where can they find you at, Cam?
I know y'all Steelers fans.
Get us out of here before Cam starts the line.
Where can the people find you at to continue this conversation, Cam?
Yeah, the lies will be flowing in the Discord, so make sure you go join that. If you want to hear Cam keep lying, we're getting out of here.
Hold on, time out. Bro, my nigga got nose guard, 6 tackles and 2 sacks. And how many snaps he played?
Y'all can find me on the Discord. Make sure you join Best Damn Media. Find me on Twitter, Instagram at 216_wildboy.
Y'all trying to disrespect. Y'all trying to disrespect that young man. Y'all better put some respect on him. Everybody talk about everybody else. Hero Canoe next.
All
Fuck out of here.
So my final plug. Do not forget, boys is going to Minister Sports tomorrow.
We're in the big leagues. We've been on this fucking show for 50 minutes, and our boy Q is going up to the big league. Shout out to our boy Chris Drew plugging us. Tell them about the big news, man. How did we wait this long? Go ahead, tell them. Tell them again.
I wanted to plug that, but I let Cam get his rant off. But yeah, so we are going to Minister Sports tomorrow. It should be a very good time. And Chris, it is on Juneteenth, so I might come in.
Black History Year.
Juneteenth in Black History Year. Black takeover on Menace.
Hey, Chris Drew said he bringing out the chains too. He said
power to the people.
It's gonna be one of them, man. And he said he might have some drink. So y'all tune in, man.
But also too, shout out to these guys, man. We are a team. We do this together. Without all of us, we wouldn't be putting together a good show and have that opportunity. So I know they're gonna be with me tomorrow. We're gonna have a great time, man. I cannot wait. But But if you do want to find me, I'll be on Men's Sports tomorrow. But also City Boy Clinton on Twitter, Flying Johnson on Instagram, Minor League Films here also on YouTube. Do movies. So if you want my review of The Blackening, it'll be out today. But that's all I got. Ron, what you got?
Cam, do you go ahead and tell them?
Yeah, you can find me at I Know Things 19. I'm not hard to find. You can find me in the Discord talking shit too at Truther. So that's it. Yeah.
So again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on this video. We appreciate you guys pulling up. We had a great time doing the show today. We want to keep doing more content like this in the Discord. We're here every Sunday at 10. You could find me at 2_TES, 2 T's on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me at 2Shiesty on TikTok. And make sure that you hit that link in the Discord. Invite your friends. If you know people that like our content, make sure that they're in there and, come talk to the guys, get in the chat. And if you're a Buckeye fan, find me in the Discord and I'll get you in the private Buckeye chat. We appreciate you guys pulling up every Sunday at 10 Eastern for Buckeye BS. And we will see you guys next week.
We'll see you tomorrow. Pull up.
Oh, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow on Menace. Go watch Q tomorrow on Menace, noon. Make sure you go see our boy Q.
Hey, Q, man, you better put that shit on, too.
We go with
Team Black History Year. Hey, Chris Drew said he putting his chains on.
I'm going to find my old do-rag.
Hey, I want to see do-rags. I want to see Henny bottles. I want to
get my hair braided.
I want y'all looking like Uncle Shay Shay on the show tomorrow.
Hey, Chris, bro, you know what time it is, man. I need y'all to come. Hey, man, I need y'all to come correct, nigga.
Chris doing the show from Akron too, so he's bringing the vibes. See you boys tomorrow in the chat on Menace. I better see everyone there. Appreciate you guys for pulling up. See you guys tomorrow. See you guys next Sunday. Thank you. Let us disrespect Indiana like that.